What's up? I'm IAMOBG. So, the Red Collection, $1 million. How can a whiskey lineup of 6 bottles be worth $1 million? Well, it has a lot of special things that did line up, and the first one was that most of the proceed was given to charity. Now, you might think like, oh, well, that's why people are donating their money. But actually, if you can find a full lineup right now online, it's over $1 million. Now, let's look at why it's so expensive. Each of the ongoing releases in the Red Collection has been signed by Christine Campbell, who was appointed Master Whiskey Maker at the Macallan in 2019, and is the first woman to occupy the role in history. Sarah Burgess, lead whiskey maker for the Macallan, has signed the initial guest release. Now, this Red Collection is also called a Dream of Old, and only 40 bottles of each were released, so there isn't a lot to get around. All of these are a mix of American oak and, of course, sherry cask finish. All of these are super expensive, and you can find them separately, but they are worth a lot more if you can find them together. Since the Red Collection sold for an initial $974,000 at the release, but for a full lineup today, like I said, it's $1 million or more. The packaging is Javi Henares, who's a Spanish painter and illustrator that also works on Hollywood. He drew up all of the labels and even made a full-on animation of the history of these whiskeys, and the music is performed by Scottish violinist Nicola Benedetti. Now, this video is 1.5 minutes, and I've put a link below so that you can go and look at it since it's really impressive. And it shows that they have gone through great lengths to make this something special. Since all of this is very impressive, even the box that holds the actual boxes for the whiskeys. But let's look at each of them individually so we can understand what actually they are. The first one is the Macallan Red Collection 40-year-old. Now, this has an ABV of 48.1, and this one will cost you on average $52,000 if you can find a single bottle. Then we have the Macallan 50-year-old. This has an ABV of 45.1, and this one will set you back a minimum of $91,000. Then there's the Macallan 60-year-old. This has an ABV of 43.4, and this will cost you $515,000, since this is the only bottle that I was able to find online, but this should be around $100,000. Then the Macallan 71-year-old. This has an ABV of 41.6, and this will cost you $110,000. Then the Macallan 74-year-old has an ABV of 42.6, and this one will cost you $125,000. And finally, the Macallan 78-year-old. This has an ABV of 42.2, and this will cost you a minimum of $135,000. Now look at this packaging. This packaging is just insane. And at the time, the 78-year-old, when it was released, was the oldest whiskey ever released from Macallan. But since then, they did release the Macallan 81-year-old. Now, if you want to catch that, you should subscribe. But let's focus on what actually this lineup means. The first thing here is that as a group, they are worth a lot more money, because if you do get a full lineup with matching number, meaning all number 2s, all number 3s, or all number 4s, then they are grouped together. You get the full lineup, and collectors are really focused on that, because when you take one out, well, the value goes down, and there's a lot of crazy people out there with a lot of crazy money that are willing to spend that type of money to drink it. Remember, there's only 40 of these bottles each out there. So if you have a full lineup and you drink one of them, well, the value of that lineup goes down. Yes, you could sell off the other bottles, but as a group, they are worth a lot more money. Now, is this worth $1 million? Actually, it does. It does make sense, since, remember, at the time, this was the oldest whiskeys ever released from Macallan when we talk about 78-year-old. 78 years in the cask is a long time. and blending these and designing these and putting the effort and getting the artists and creating this massively insane, beautiful lineup is just a real tour de force here. This is just mind-blowing to me. Now, if you know somebody that has a ball, wants to crack it, like I said in the previous video, please give me a call because I want to try these so bad. Oh my God, that lineup is just insane. The packaging, just wow, just stupid at this point. All right, that's gonna do it for me. IAMOBG for tastingskills.com. Please remember, my friend, stay sober. Peace.